everyone, we need to talk about Apple Airtags again. Yes, over a year after they have been released. And honestly, I think it's been a real headache for Apple ever since then. If you don't know, Airtags are Apple's version of the Tile. You can put this on your keys, your purse, and they help you track down lost items. But there has been one issue at the heart of all of this that has led Apple to release a ton, and I mean a ton, of firmware updates since then. What is the issue? Stalking. It has become such a discussion point in online forums and news headlines that it has forced Apple to actually release their own personal safety guide, which has also triggered the New York Attorney General to issue an AirTag consumer alert in February. So here's the thing, it seems like things just keep on escalating with AirTags. If you want to see how AirTags functioned right out of the box a year ago, well, you can check out my first video on them. I keep thinking that I'm too late to make this part 2 of my review, but ooh man, things just keep coming up. And because of that, my first video keeps getting views, keeps getting comments, and people are super confused. So I'm hoping this video kind of helps clear up some confusion and keep you updated. So hey guys, what's up? My name is Sara Dietschy, rhymes with Peachy. And shout out to Artlist for sponsoring this video. If you make any kind of YouTube videos, if you're a freelancer making videos for small businesses or any kinds of companies where you're posting their video to YouTube or some other site, you need royalty-free music to go with your videos. Not just any music, but good quality music that can help you tell your story, and Artlist is the place to do that. If you're curious, you can check out my link in the description below. And hey, this epic AirTag montage from my last video is a great example of how having the right song can go a long way. Yeah, that was kind of extra, right? Okay, so let's start with some of the news headlines that immediately hit the web once AirTags were released. So an Australian retailer took AirTags off their shelves after the product received child safety concerns due to its replaceable battery. You can unscrew the back of this and then replace the battery here. On May 12th, an Apple customer from the United Kingdom successfully used an AirTag to track a package sent to his friend's home. While this was a harmless experiment, it did raise safety concerns of unknown tracking after discovering the recipient still had yet to receive a notification on his phone of a nearby AirTag. This headline is kind of random, but the company that AirTag basically competes with, Tile, their business actually got acquired for $205 million. On November 22nd, 2021, at the height of, people doing comparisons between Tile and AirTags. So I guess you can argue that even though Apple is going to be really hard competition for Tile, Apple has such a huge platform that now people are like, oh, those things exist, maybe I'll look at Tile instead of an AirTag. And then a ton of headlines now involving the police. MacRumors has been doing a great job covering a lot of AirTag stuff, so let's just run through a few of these. AirTags started being used in an increasing number of targeted car thefts in Canada. After shopping at a mall, a man in Michigan found an AirTag under the drain cap in the trunk of his car. He found it when he got the notification on his phone, and then he played the sound of the AirTag and found it through that. December 31st of 2021, a report came out where AirTags are increasingly linked to criminal activity. And Kitty, hi! I think the cat wants to be a part of the video. Hacked AirTags were popping up on eBay where people will go in and disable the feature where the AirTag makes a sound when people get that notification on their phone that they're being followed by an unknown AirTag. And what is at the center of the AirTag is a ton of women are reporting that they are being stalked, are being tracked by people unknowingly placing an AirTag on their person somehow, whether it's their purse or their car. And finally, just today while I was making this video, the state of Ohio is apparently working on a new bill prohibiting the tracking of people with AirTags. Oh, okay. And trust me, if you Google this, this is kind of just the tip of the iceberg. And so every step of the way, Apple has been releasing a ton of firmware updates. Now, again, this has only been out for a year, and guys, I'm telling you, the amount of firmware updates that we are getting, I feel like is just not normal for a normal piece of tech. Well, how do I even update an Apple AirTag? Well, if it's close to your iPhone, it'll just update eventually. There's no way to manually update it, unfortunately, but Apple rolls out updates gradually. And if you want to check the latest firmware that your AirTag is on, you go to the Find My app and click that battery icon of your AirTag. Okay, so June 3rd, 2021 comes along and Apple announces its first firmware update with more anti-stalking security features. Initially, when the AirTag was released, they actually already had some of these features, but it's like one of those things where because Apple started talking about it and talking about features that, you know, maybe prevent stalking, that just brought stalking to the forefront of the conversation, unfortunately, and it just raised the awareness that you can use these things for stalking. Minus the fact that Tile and GPS trackers have been around forever and people can use those for stalking. I guess it's just because this is maybe so accessible. Apple is like such on the world stage that I guess it just brings more light to it and it just makes it easier for people, easier for stalkers. But this first update, it basically decreased the amount of time in which an AirTag separated from its original owner will play a sound. So if I drop my AirTag in someone's backpack and they leave, that person is going to get a sound notification from the AirTag like, hey, an AirTag's in your bag, but that original interval wouldn't notify the person from like 8 to sometimes 24 hours. So at that point, you've probably already gone to your home. You've probably already been stalked. We have more firmware updates where we didn't really get specifics on what was going into them. On November 9th, we got another big update. So instead of waiting to be notified by an unwanted AirTag tracking you, the scan feature was added to the app. So this feature allowed you to do the scan immediately by selecting items that can track me in the Find My app. On December 13th, the Android app was finally released. And I will say this app, guys, does not have good reviews. Android users were expected that they would get alerted the same way that iPhone users were getting alerted automatically if an unwarranted AirTag was on their person. But Android users actually have to go into that app if they suspect something and actually manually press the button to scan. There's other issues with it. It's just a pretty lackluster app, but yeah, I guess, you know, they tried. Shortly after that, the Android app got another update where Android users could play a sound from the AirTag that will help them identify where it is. Okay, so January 25th. So I guess Apple was really feeling that there was a lot of confusion out there. There was a lot of concern from people. So they released a personal safety guide that not only goes into depth about AirTag best practices, but also how to limit location data that you're sharing across other apps like Calendar and the Find My app. Oh, okay, so many updates. We're still not done, but I'll try to get through the rest super quick. So February 10th. So now when you set up an AirTag, it lets the person know that, hey, your Apple ID is attached to this AirTag and you should not track people. It shouldn't be used for tracking people. It mentions, hey, your information can be shared to law enforcement if you try to do this, if you try anything funny. They also fixed an error where people's AirPods were giving that unwarranted accessory alert. So a lot of people were getting scared that, oh no, I'm being stalked, when like, no, just your AirPods are in your purse. And then we have the final update that should be rolling out to people's AirTags right now as we are talking. And this just makes the AirTag louder. That notification when, hey, there's an AirTag on you that you don't know, or when you're trying to find it and play the sound, it will be louder. Okay, woo, that was a lot, right? But hey, for my more tech-savvy audience, you are now informed. You can make your decision if you want to use AirTags. Do those updates sound good to you? I don't know. Well, on my original video, there was a lot of confusion over like how the AirTag actually works. And no, it is not a GPS tracking device. It is very different. So a GPS tracking device is going to be more expensive, and it uses GPS where you can have very like down to the nitty-gritty location of that tracker no matter where it really is in the world. And AirTag works very similar, oh gosh, I can never say this word, similarly. It works like a Tile, where in order to track down your AirTag, there has to be other Apple devices around it, and it pings those to update the location. So if you're tracking someone 30 minutes away, the AirTag has to be able to ping other iPhones in order to get an accurate location of that AirTag, where a Tile has to ping other tile apps on people's phones to get an accurate location. So based on that, you're probably gonna have better luck with AirTags instead of tiles, because I bet more people have iPhones around you than tiles and tile apps, because that's what determines where the tracker is. You might say, well, Sarah, that seems kind of silly. Well, pre-AirTag, a lot of people just got tiles to put on their keys so they can find it around their house, or they can find it in their car where their Bluetooth connection can still connect to that tile. And the actual tile network, if those keys got lost, you know, an hour away, wasn't the priority. It was kind of just like a nice additional feature that you had that would help you kind of pinpoint the general location. So a lot of these things weren't so publicly discussed and debated before the Apple AirTag because, well, just more people have them, more people are interested in the convenience that these devices can provide. I mean, these things are in the headlines so often that I wonder if Apple is actually regretting releasing these things. They're such a big company, they provide so many products and services. I'm sure if AirTags disappeared tomorrow, it wouldn't really cut into their bottom line, I'm thinking. And why this is such a weird and difficult problem to solve is Bluetooth trackers have typically been used for kind of like two things. Like, yes, finding things that you've lost, like your keys or your purse or your wallet, but also people put them on expensive things that might get stolen. You know, people want to use them for theft. So all the features that you would add for anti-stalking measures are actually the opposite that you would want if you were using these to deter theft, if that makes sense. And speaking of that, in the media, I think it's always easier to focus on the negative. So here's at least one story about an AirTag helping an Australian photographer recover over $7,000 worth of stolen gear. After his car gotten broken into, he called the police and he was able to recover everything, including his wallet, camera, laptop, and GoPro. The items were found in a room in the hotel he was staying in. If Apple shrunk the notification window down to say maybe 5 minutes, where, okay, you got an Apple AirTag on you that is not yours and you were just quickly notified, well, that would be a problem. There would be a symphony of AirTag pings every time someone with an iPhone got on a subway train or maybe sat down at a restaurant to eat. And because of that, originally this window was long, 8 to 24 hours. Not just for that scenario above, but also to maybe allow enough time for action to be taken if that thing was actually stolen and the original owner wanted to be able to track it or report it to the police. So now that that notification window is down to 2 hours, you know, it's not great if someone steals your bike and, oh, what is that sound? Someone has a tracker, let me throw that away. But now, if a creepy guy slips an AirTag in a girl's purse at the grocery store, she's gonna be notified way sooner than before. And this might lead the person to actually not travel to their home or a location they don't want to be tracked to. So it's this really weird balance that I think Apple is just not trying to balance anymore. They're just saying, okay, the consequences of someone getting stalked are probably way greater than someone's bike getting stolen. It's the difference between like losing money and losing sanity, losing safety. But I actually did a poll to my audience on Twitter. I was like, hey, when you buy an AirTag, what are you doing with it? And 70% of people said, hey, find lost things, but 30% was like theft. So those 30% are probably bummed about all these new features. You'll maybe want to invest in one of those GPS tracking devices. I put one in a box when we moved from New York to Texas, and there were some complications with the moving company that we used. Like, they were so bad. We got the couch, we got the boxes, but I was like, you know, I don't remember finding that GPS device in any of these boxes. And I went to my app and I saw, oh, it's in a undisclosed location somewhere in Fort Worth, Texas. It was like at someone's house. So even with those things, I don't know, maybe because I'm just like scared of what would come out of that scenario, I didn't even follow up on that. But that GPS tracker had terrible battery life too, so it died pretty quickly. Luckily, AirTags, I think, last for at least a year. But yeah, if you're moving, I would scatter AirTags across multiple different boxes. So a lot of people responded to this tweet and just let me know like how they use their AirTags. A lot of people said, yeah, my friend uses them on his son's mountain bikes. Again, putting them on keys, people to just find their wallet in their own house, relatable. Putting one in their kids' backpacks, that's kind of a crazy scenario. Someone said that one literally just reminded me I left my suitcase behind outside at an airport security checkpoint. fantastic. I mean, dang, this is an example of something, you know, more serious happening. Like we were talking, my coworker found an AirTag hidden in makeup in her purse left by her abusive ex. As she was living in a new apartment she thought he wasn't aware of. Oof. A lot of people in my mentions like joking, basically being like, I don't see the I use it to stalk people option, because I think a lot of people think that these claims are kind of taken out of proportion, which I'm sure they have, but you know, there are reports of it happening. There are scenarios that are super serious. Usually I joke around about this stuff and make light of it, but yeah, those are super intense situations, and like as a woman, that's just so sketchy. A lot of the times you kind of like walk around in the world already feeling unsafe. So yeah, obviously something like that would be absolutely terrifying, but I will say Apple is the only product that is actually doing something about it. I'm hoping that that encourages maybe other companies to add features like that so it doesn't happen. But yeah, what a conundrum. Did I use that in the right way? It's a weird middle ground where anti-theft and anti-stalking features are almost the opposite. You know, they work counterintuitively. So ooh, this is a lot. I'm sure we're still gonna see a ton of firmware updates roll out. Who would expect that this tiny thing would be one of Apple's most controversial products? And you definitely need to let me know in the comments below what you think, and have you run into any of these scenarios with the Apple AirTag? And so as you're leaving that comment and you were just dissecting this very information dense video, well, I'm gonna kick it to Sara a day ago, and she's gonna tell you a little bit more about Artlist, because guys, you need to check them out.
Artlist gives you unlimited access to over 50,000 high quality royalty-free songs and sound effects that you can use for YouTube videos, client projects, weddings, anything. Sky's the limit. And when I say high quality, guys, I mean it. So I go to Artlist for the moments in my videos. So here is just a few examples in the past 2 or 3 years where I have used their songs for those moments. Right? Those montages were pretty sick. Shout out to those songs. You can sign up for the personal plan, which is only $9.99 per month, which covers all of your social channels, or for those who do more freelance projects, you can subscribe to the unlimited plan for only $6.60 per month, which will cover licensing for personal and commercial projects. One of the best things about Artlist is their worldwide universal license. So when subscribed to the unlimited plan, it allows creators to download and use a license forever, even after their subscription has expired. That's a big one. So if you're looking to keep up with the latest trends in music, sound effects, Artlist is always improving and adding to their library. So you can click my link in the description below to sign up and get 2 extra months free added to your annual subscription. Thank you so much, Artlist, and let's get back to the video. I don't know what that was.
Oh, okay, so AirTags, am I right, guys? It was more of a serious subject. Watching back that video, I'm like, wow, I'm not smiling a lot. But if you want to check out my other videos, they're a little bit more upbeat and happy. Hopefully, you know, we see family sharing coming soon, because that is still on everyone's wish list, you know, because hey, you don't want to have to buy 2 AirTags for 1 pair of keys that you share with your spouse or something like that. So I know that is a huge feature that people want, but also people are still confused, and so hopefully this video helped with that. And you can check out this video right here. This is what YouTube wants you to watch, and you can hit subscribe right here. Until next time, everyone, like, sub, and reminder to stay peachy. Okay, bye.